What we have here is a very dirty Thok MIG-R E bike, and the reason it's in this state is because it's just come down off that big hill behind me, underneath the man himself, Sylvain Guintoli. So let's have a look at the details behind this super fast e-bike. So the Thok MIG-R comes in 4 sizes, and Sylvain at 1.78 m rides a size large. Now it's an all aluminium chassis with 140mm travel at the back and 150mm fork at the front. In terms of the geometry, we're looking at a 12-14 wheelbase, 66 head angle, 450 chainstay, and the reach on this size large is 450mm too. But the key thing is it's got a good low bottom bracket on it. It's got a 342 BB, which means that Sylvain can actually run the 29-inch wheels and still get a good bottom bracket height. So we'll talk to him about that a bit later on. Plus, of course, you've got the heart of the matter here, the Shimano Steps E8000 system. So that's a really compact design, which actually enables Thok to make those good geometry numbers on this bike. It's a really neat bike. Up front there's a good protection here, so kind of semi-integrated system if you like. Yeah, and overall I think it's a good looking bike. So this is a really interesting bike. It's from Italy, it's a direct sales model bike, and it's run by 2 interesting characters. One's Stefano Migliorini, who was a top World Cup downhiller back in the 90s. He actually came on the podium in the first ever World Cup downhill race in Cap d'Ai in 1993. And the other guy involved is a guy called Livio Suppo, who was the team manager at Ducati and Honda at MotoGP level. So some big names in the two-wheel industry behind this bike. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Sylvain has swapped out the 27.5 wheels for 29 on this bike. And up front, he's got a DT Swiss E1700 spline 2-wheel, which is we've got aluminium rim on it. To take the first point of impact is a RockShox Lyrik RC2 fork, which is an air unit. And then tyre choice, interesting tyre choice, he's gone for a downhill tyre, a Minion DHF front, which has got a really strong casing on it. So let's dive straight into the cockpit on this bike, and the first thing I notice is how neat the cables are up front. That's quite different to a lot of bikes out there. I really like to have that clean cockpit area. So I'm going to talk through it from left to right. Obviously there's a grip on the left hand side, and that's Sylvain's own Nukeproof choice. Then in from that is a Thok seat post adjuster, super neat unit. Then you've got a Shimano XT Deore brake. Then comes the adjuster for the Shimano Steps E8000 e-bike system. Bar wise, it's a Thok bar, 780mm with a 35mm stem. And it's interesting that Sylvain's got 3 spacers under the stem to bring the front of the bike up quite a bit. There's obviously the display, the E8000 display system, and a SLX shifter from Shimano. Move into the center of the bike, we've got a SRAM Deluxe air damper there. Really like this protection on the battery there, that's pretty neat. Seat post is a Thok's own, and Sylvain says that's been totally faultless since he's had it. Coming across to the rear, again, this is Sylvain's own wheelset. This actually is a Hope Pro 2 hub and rim on this bike. Again, it's a Minion downhill casing tyre, Minion DHR in this instance. So moving back to the rear of the bike, we've got Shimano 170 cranks on there. Sylvain's got Crankbrothers Mallet pedals. Gear-wise, Shimano XT, and obviously a Shimano XT cassette on the back there. What's really noticeable is how neat the cabling is on this Thok bike, and look at that, just in that chainstay area, super neat. That's a theme that runs through the whole bike. So yeah, let's get Sylvain in for a chat about his customization of this Thok MIG-R. So we're joined now by Sylvain, who has just come down off that hill up there. Sylvain, you've swapped the 27.5 for 29-inch wheels. What's the thinking behind that?
Well, my downhill bike is with 29 wheels, right, okay. And I mean, every time I've tried them, I've always preferred it. Yeah. I like the way they roll and over, because I'm not that good. I like the way they roll over obstacles. It just makes everything a bit easier. Keeps the speed and the momentum. Yeah, it just keeps momentum keeps going. Yeah. That's right.
And it's a more kind of balanced kind of sort of ride on the bike.
Yeah, I like the feel they give. It makes the bike feels a bit more stable, and I like that.
So why do you Why is this bike so important for your training?
Well, the training with e-bikes, one thing that is great is that I found that you can just keep going. You can go like 2-3 times a week, and do the sessions, and you can go kind of everywhere. Because mountain biking, sometimes if you're on a normal bike, a conventional one, you go and do something, and it can quickly be a real struggle. And then you just knack it for a week. With the e-bikes, I mean, you can do some proper challenge, still get the exercising, and you know, and enjoy it.
And I guess you've got to be careful for keeping your body in good nick for the weekends, right? For when you're
I mean, the one thing I was going to say, the one thing with the e-bike is I actually had an injury with a normal bike in 2013 and lost the title because of that in superbike. But
you came back to win the title the next. So you came back the next year and won the World Superbike title.
But I had the accident, and obviously was wearing Lyrik. And then with the e-bike, I just found that I can be, no matter what I'm doing, I can be with full face armor, full body armor. I always wear it. So I can wear all the protection gear.
So like, you know, kind of a few hundred grams doesn't really matter, and you still get to look after your body, right?
Doesn't matter. A few kilos doesn't matter. You go uphill anyway. It doesn't matter.
And you also go racing on this bike, right? You do a lot of e-bike racing.
I've done a bit of racing this year because my season is starting a bit later.
Right.
I'm going to start racing in June, so I wanted to keep sharp and keep and also have some fun. And keep the adrenaline going.
And you're very competitive, I guess, as well.
Yeah, I mean, I like competition, so that's why today was great. And a bit of racing is I think it's good. It just keeps you sharp,
keeps the
adrenaline going, keeps you sharp. Yeah,
keeps you sharp, keeps you honest.
Yeah, and keeps you fit as well, because there's no better way than racing to push yourself.
Yeah. Sylvain, thanks for joining us today and bringing the Thok MIG-R. If you want to see more pro bike checks, you've got fellow Frenchman Nico Vullios' lap here, just down over here. And there's the launch video for the Canyon Spectral on just over there. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, and it'd be great if you could subscribe to the channel just over here. Cheers.